Hi guys, welcome to a Year with Trees podcast. I'm your host Fatima, a huge lover and learner of trees, and this podcast is my love letter to them. I decided to take up this project because I have so many stories about them that I would love to share with others. So come along with me, let's explore the beautiful world of trees. And while you are at it, I hope you fall in love with them as much as I do. So what are we waiting for? Let's go ahead.
Here's a tree whose red and orange flowers add a pop of colors to its backdrop of its pretty green feathery leaves. It's a tree which heralds summer, just like the song of Asian Koel announces arrival of summer in many places in India. This tree is Gulmohar, that awesome flaming red tree. In my childhood, we used to live in a small town, and the place was surrounded by forests, while the old growth forests were full of native trees like sal, palash, jamun, mahua. The roadsides of the town were planted with exotic species such as gulmohar, jacaranda, and eucalyptus. From our apartment, we had a clear view of a row of gulmohar, and in summer, the trees burst in metaphorical flames with flashy red and orange flowers. What a sight it was! Walking back from school, I used to look up at their canopy wistfully because the flowers were always higher up in the branches, and I wished to look at them closely and take a few of those flowers to decorate in a vase. One day my wish came true. It rained heavily that day, and when returning back from school, I saw several twigs of the trees had fallen, and attached to them were full flowers with all petals intact and unharmed. I happily picked up a bunch of them and took them home to decorate in a vase and kept a few between the pages of a book. They didn't last long, but while they did, I loved looking at them. The color of the flowers, the shape of their petals, and the fern like fresh green leaves. I have seen many Gulmohar trees since then, and they have always reminded me of that refreshing rainy day when I had picked those flowers, and the memory is still fresh in my mind. Delonix regia or the royal poinciana or the flame burnt tree is a common tree in India, and yet it is not native and was introduced to India only in the 1840s when the British brought the tree to plant it in their colonies. And so the tree became popular as a shade and ornamental tree throughout India. Many Indians who have this tree in their neighborhood can relate to the summer season with the fiery colors of these trees when they are in bloom in profusion, sometimes so much so that there is less foliage and more flowers. Not that anyone is complaining, the tree surely does look royal, which is what its scientific name, regia, means. Well, let's learn more about this tree. I love Gulmohar leaves, a canopy full of feathery or fern-like leaves, fresh green in color. The leaves are compound. The scheme of the leaf is twice pinnate, which means that a single leaf stalk has smaller stalks on both the sides, to which small oblong leaflets are attached on both sides of the smaller stalks. There is no terminal leaf to the smaller stalks. The pinnate leaf scheme is a typical to the pea or legume family, scientifically called Fabaceae. Odd or even pinnate leaves that are found in trees such as tamarind, rain tree, touch-me-not, babul, and so on. Another common feature found in many trees and plants of the pea family is that the leaves close up at night. This phenomenon is called nyctinasty. This generally happens to reduce water loss through transpiration. And after the leaves, the most attractive part of this tree is, of course, its flower. The trees bloom only in the summer season in India, typically from April onwards till June. The flowers are vibrant red or orange in color. The flowers are shaped like a spoon, four spreading petals and one upright petal called the standard. This arrangement of the petals make it look like a peacock with its train raised. Hence, one of its name is peacock flower. The petals too have some marks of white and yellow, adding subtle aesthetic touch to the whole look. The flowers produce nectar for delicate feeders like bees, butterflies, and possibly sunbirds, which help the tree in pollination. And once the pollination is done, the fruit pods begin to form, another common feature of the pea family. The fruit pods are similar to peas or beans, green when freshly formed with seeds inside. As they mature, the pod turns brown and is rather hard to crack. Once the pod or legume is totally mature, it drops to the ground, where in right conditions the pod cracks with time and the seeds germinate in the nearby soil, or may be carried by natural or man made elements to faraway places to take roots. The mature seeds are toxic and are not consumed, but are sometimes used in rural areas to press oil from it, and it is used as a fuel. Now, the bark of Gulmohar is light brown and lightly textured. The bark has prominent lenticels too in the form of raised marks. Lenticels are small pores in the bark of trees that allow them to breathe air the tree way, that is, the exchange of gases between trees and the atmosphere. The wood of Gulmohar is not strong, and many branches easily fall during stormy rains. Hence, it's not used commercially for furniture or as timber. It is mostly used as fuel in rural areas. Gulmohar is a deciduous tree, medium sized. During dry winters in India, it drops its leaves altogether and stay leafless until the arrival of spring. Then new leaves grow, after which the flowers bloom. Its native habitat is forest of Madagascar, but it is naturalized in tropical and subtropical regions of many countries. In India, it is found as an ornamental tree in cities lining up avenues and gracing the parks, while many are easily found in rural areas too. Now that we have learned so many things about this tree, the answer to the question of how to identify this tree is rather easy. During flowering months, the flowers are dead giveaway. The flashy red or orange flowers arranged in a pattern of four petals, which are spoon shaped, with the fifth standing petal. During non flowering months, when leaves are still intact, look for twice pinnate, small oblong leaves, fresh green in color. The canopy is full of them. During leafless season, look for bark that is light brown and mild textured with small pores or lenticels. It is mostly a straight trunk tree with spreading canopy, and that should be enough for you to identify it in your walks outside. And that sums up today's episode. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode about Delonix regia or the Gulmohar tree as much as I enjoyed narrating it. For this episode, I referred to Flowers of India website, some online journals, and my own observations. Do subscribe to the podcast in app of your choice and share this podcast for the sake of tree love. Also, your reviews are very welcome. Thank you all. Stay tuned.